Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It is a pleasure to be joined again by Ty Francis, Chief Advisory Officer of LRN.
Thank you.
So, Ty, we're going to continue our discussion of LRN's 2025 Ethics and Compliance Program Effectiveness Report. And now we're going to move from Gen Z to emerging risks like AI, supply chain compliance, and how those are becoming critical in our ethics and compliance in our regulatory world. So, when we think about AI and supply chain compliance, what steps do you think organizations should take to address these areas?
So, when we look at the data, it's both good news and bad news. So, the good news is that high impact programs, and again, those are programs that are using ethical decision making, organizational justice, and speak up to enhance their programs, are more forward focused. So, they're using more data analytics. They're looking to uh, risk mitigate by looking at trends. They are 2.2 times more likely to include AI to have proactive risk mitigation, um, more than medium impact programs. And they're also 1.4 times more likely to include AI into their programs. But this is still a very nascent kind of premise here. And only 50% of programs, both high, medium, and low impact programs, are including AI in their overall programs. Um, Obviously, those high impact programs using data analytics are more forward focused and more forward thinking. So they're more easily able to adapt to the AI changing landscape. Supply chain is the same. You know, um, we are seeing more data and benchmarking being used for due diligence supply chain. The DOJ recently, September last year, came out with new guidance asking companies to be more proactive with looking at their third parties. That was looking at the due diligence, periodic reviews of their third parties. And also, we recommend training of suppliers and third parties as well. However, we have seen a reduction over the last 2 years of compliance programs investing in those processes, which is, understandably strange considering some of the guidance, not just from the DOJ, but from the EU as well. Um, so when we're looking at how that's been adapted and adopted, we're seeing high impact programs at about 29%, medium impact programs at 25%, and then low impact programs at 20% adoption of new technology to understand their supply chain risk.
I mean, given the regulatory call out of third party and supply chain due diligence, risk mitigation, that was a bit of a surprise how organizations are not engaging in supply chain third party training. I mean, they are the Achilles heel of a program, so to speak.
Well, it's the 100 windows analogy, okay? You can have 100 windows, and if 99% of them are locked, you're not 99% covered. That one open window is your Achilles heel, as you said. Um, it was a surprise, but if you look at how companies are resourcing now and cost cutting, I think the perception of having to periodically review your third parties, to train your suppliers, is going to be cost prohibitive, but it's not. And high impact programs are proving day after day that using that data analytics benchmarking is helping them understand how their suppliers are interacting with their companies, how their suppliers are looking at their internal supplier code of conduct. So I think using data analytics is going to overcome that worry that this is very resource heavy and expensive.
So, Ty, this was a great discussion. We're going to come back and talk about what everyone often or usually has to think about in terms of resources and resource constraints.
Yes.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.